It's been 3 years of whispers, of hopeful fans piecing together glimpses of a love story played out beneath the radar, and now, at long last, Dylan Wang steps forward, his voice firm and clear in a world that has waited. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the latest insights, revelations, and heartfelt moments from the stars you love. The world has watched as Dylan and Shen Yue's romance quietly unfolded, a tale of two young hearts drawn together in one of the most watched dramas of our time, and through it all, one fundamental truth has stood: love, in its truest form, thrives when nurtured with care, respect, and time. Today, we listen, with open ears and open hearts, to Dylan's words, echoing across 3 years of whispers and standing now in bold clarity. He begins by acknowledging what everyone has sensed, that these past years have shaped him. He speaks of growth, of shedding the old skin, of learning to stand in one's own light and still hold space for another soul beside you. His voice is steady, a calm harbor after storms of speculation. He thanks the fans first, whose curiosity was never cold but kind, whose support has held steady even in silence. He knows they've wondered, speculated, and hoped, and is grateful for that, not for the probing, but for the affection. And he clarifies, there was no deliberate fortress built between them and the world, just a shared belief that love is most precious when allowed room to breathe, without comment, without rush. These words land softly, like a gentle apology for absence, though there was never ill intent. He speaks of balancing limelight and intimacy, of how, when your private life becomes viral speculation, the simplest longing, to hold hands, to laugh, to dream in quiet, can feel like a rebellion. They chose to let moments stand untouched by the glare, deciding that some things lived most beautifully beyond headlines. In his voice we sense both relief and resolve, the delicate decision to step out and speak after watching their story live in hearts, not in ink. He remembers early days, when a shy greeting backstage felt like 1,000 words unspoken, when the shared laughter over nothing in particular felt immense because it was theirs alone. He admits he's been learning how to be brave, brave enough to share, brave enough to say, oh, we are not just I. 3 years can be a lifetime of small moments strung together, stolen glances, inside jokes, dinners and late-night drives when the world outside the car feels paused. For him, these years were not stagecraft but real life in its raw, tender rhythms. He addresses misunderstandings head-on. Rumors of strain he calls exaggeration fueled by absence. Distance, yes, that's real in promotional circuits, schedules that stretch time. Public life that demands attention, but never between them, never. That gap, he emphasizes, was punctual, physical, not emotional. He invites us to imagine two minds, thinking of each other across trains and planes, exchanging messages that carry the same weight as every trending headline. Love that waits across time zones is love that doesn't need to shout to be heard. He says they've grown, both individually and as a pair. She taught him the strength in vulnerability, the courage in softness. He taught her the joy in steady laughter, the depth in quiet confidence. Their love, he reflects, has become a kind of dance, sometimes close, sometimes stepping back, always moving, always listening to one another's rhythm. Then he turns to what's next. Not to fanfare, but to quiet continuance. Yes, perhaps more public appearances together, though that's not the heart of it. The heart of it is choosing each other, regardless of lens or audience. The call to step forward today isn't a call to spectacles, it's a reminder that love deserves to be acknowledged, not consumed. Their story, he suggests, becomes stronger when it's lived truthfully, even amid expectations. He expresses gratitude to Shen Yue for her unwavering presence, her quiet strength, her ability to make him feel both seen and safe. He thanks her not for who the world sees, but for who she is when the world pauses. He honors her role, not as co-star only, but as someone shaping the person he's becoming, someone who saw his beginning and held faith in his becoming. The tone shifts slightly, softened by resolution. He hopes their honesty gives others space to nurture what's real, to protect it from noise. This is not a lesson, he stresses, just the story of two people trying gently to love with intention and to live with dignity. In a culture hungry for scandal, they are choosing simplicity. In a moment dominated by longing for spectacle, they offer return to quiet, to substance. He admits there were fears of being misunderstood, of losing privacy, of disappointing when quiet became silent. But stepping forward now, he says, is a reaffirmation. Love doesn't falter in the face of spotlight, it endures, steady, in the light of truth. If they can brave this together, they believe any storm can be weathered. He shares a memory of a soft morning, maybe 2 springs ago, where they quietly watched sunlight scatter over a city, waking up, talking without needing a spotlight, feeling safe in each other's eyes. That moment became emblematic, he says, of what love really is, not fireworks, but dawn's slow glow. Not declarations, but presence. Then he speaks gently to fans. Your love, he says, matters more than the comments, the labels, the expectations. What matters are the feelings shared when no one's watching, the laughter that echoes long after the cameras leave, the gentle ways of saying, I'm here. If this has sounded too poetic, too quiet, let it be what it is, truth, unadorned. He doesn't promise endless posts or public dates, he promises honesty. He invites fans to join in. Not to watch, but to understand. To imagine two people trying to keep their love real in public lives, not perfect, not dramatic, just deliberate. He hopes their story might inspire others to value what's private, to seek connection over spectacle, to let love mature before it's marketed. Toward the end, the cadence grows clear, grounded. He believes that when both people show up, flawed, hopeful, determined, love doesn't need noise to exist. Silence can be an act of respect, letting something be intimate can be its own form of devotion. They chose that for themselves. And now, stepping into light, they step with integrity. He thanks fans again, for trust, for patience, for keeping faith even when the cameras had nothing to show. He acknowledges the excitement that comes with new developments, new projects, new stories, and he promises that he'll always meet that enthusiasm with gratitude. But first, and always, comes honesty. He ends simply, with love, with truth, with thanks. Thank you for listening. Here's to 3 years behind the curtain, and to whatever comes next, seen or unseen. That's how he chose to break the silence.